How Parents Parent and the Outcome by Faith Grogan. Here are the things that my PowerPoint will go over today. My interviewee is Alex, so here's the introduction. This is my interviewee, Alex, who's my cousin, who's 16-year-old, and he's a male. He's from Acuña, Mexico, and currently lives in Lewisville, Texas, which he moved there about 2 years ago. Alex and his family grew up near the Mexico-Texas border, and the city overall did not have a lot of money. Their family mostly lived paycheck to paycheck, but that was a common theme for other families in the area too. My aunt traveled across the border, which was about 30 minutes away, to work for CPS in the state of Texas. So he was used to traveling across the border and seeing the United States. Theme number 1, high expectations and structured parenting. A major theme in my cousin Alex's interview was the high expectations placed on students in Mexico. Alex's parents expected him to take school seriously and perform well. In school, as he said, the expectations that were placed on students were that you were to get the highest grade you could manage. While academic expectations were high, there were also other expectations. Families in Mexico had strong expectations on discipline both inside and outside the class, as Alex said. Most parents were strict about manners and behaviors, and I was always told when you leave the house, you not only represent yourself, but this family. In which Alex described education as a responsibility rather than a choice. Overall, in Mexico, structured parenting was a common theme, but specifically to Alex, said that my parents were strict with grades, going out, and behavior. Theme number 2, high family involvement and strong parent-teacher communication. Another theme in my cousin Alex's interview was that there was a strong emphasis on how closely parents and teachers communicated in Mexico. Not only was there strong communication, but his parents were often involved in school events. As Alex said, my parents were greatly involved, such as bringing food for any parties we had. In Mexico, parents were to communicate with the teachers on behaviors. They would talk about how we behaved that day and how we and they would communicate what needed to be improved. In Mexico, the teachers had great involvement with communication with parents with that was happening in the classroom and if the teacher noticed if any other students were being mean. As Alex said, my parents would often communicate with my parents with any bad behavior I had or anything that happened to me with other students, in which parents often took an active role in monitoring school progress and participating in school life. Theme number 3, balancing parental guidance with growing self-motivation. Alex described a gradual shift from being monitored closely with schoolwork then to becoming more self-monitored as he got older. His parents monitored his schoolwork from the time he was little, but he also knew he was capable of doing it on his own. He said it was a mix of both. I became self-motivated, but over time, my parents would make sure I did my assignments. While he knew education was important, there was also another level of understanding that it was a privilege. Seeing how much they cared about my education helped me understand that education is a privilege. Alex grew up in a home where he understood that education was a privilege, but he also understood that it was about building a future for himself. Summary. This is my research from Talk Third Space. Course materials have shown how important parenting styles are, and they play a significant role in shaping children's academic and overall behavior in school. The article, How Does Parental Involvement Influence a Child's Behavior from Talk Third Space, talks about how parents' engagement at home and in school settings play a major role in shaping a children's academic performance and overall behavior. Children who feel supported by their parents through communication about school, help with assignments, and contact with teachers are the children who develop healthy and positive habits, in which this parent involvement helps children build confidence in their responsibility because they know that parents care about their progress being made in school, but also in their lives. They also need a stable environment where communication, structure, high expectations, and emotional support are also very important for children. Children thrive when there are routines set into place and there's an interest around children's learning engagement. My opinion. After forming an opinion from the talk, third space, and Alex's interview, I believe that parental involvement heavily influences a student's success. Alex's responses from the interview indicated that his parents checked in on his schoolwork, but also his progress. Not only were his parents involved in his schoolwork, but they also held his behavior in and out of the house to a very high standards. Alex's parents' involvement helped him become more self-motivated, I think, in which I think practical parenting approach involves structure, clear communication, and emotional support for the child. The child is more likely to take school seriously and make efforts towards long-term goals when there are constant routines and constant communication about school and daily conversations. I think that school in the United States and parents could benefit from encouraging more parent teacher communication, in which this is what Alex experienced in Mexico. I think that when the teachers and parents work as a team, students are more likely to have consistent expectations, which lead to academic and behavioral success. Here's my works cited. And then here is my thank you.